Caregiving doesn't just change your schedule, it changes who you are. And when you've been caring for your aging parents and your children and even your grandchildren, layer upon layer upon layer, this becomes really intense and overwhelming. And if you've been doing it for years, you might look up one day and realize, I've forgotten what it feels like to truly live for myself and to thrive. And if that really feels like you, then you want to stay with me for this episode, because this episode is about you. My name is Amy, and I'm a coach for family caregivers. And this is episode 5 of my Sandwich Generation Caregivers series. This is the closing episode. And if you have stuck with me and you have watched each one of the episodes, I thank you for that. I really appreciate your dedication. And I appreciate the fact that you're trying to figure out what type of caregiver you are so that you can get the right type of help for you. It is so very important. We've covered a lot of ground together. We've talked about the traditional family caregiver. We've talked about the submarine sandwich caregiver, where caregiving is on the horizon. We've talked about the po' boy family caregiver who is missing a lot of resources. We've talked about the open-faced caregiver who might not have the siblings to help them out. And today we're going to talk about the final type of sandwich caregiver, and that is the club sandwich, the sandwich that has many layers. So the club sandwich caregiver is typically between the ages of 50 and 60 years old. Not always, but typically. And you are caring for an aging parent, maybe two aging parents, maybe in-laws, aging parents as well. Wow, that would really compound it. You also are caring for your children, who are either young adults or adults themselves, but you are caring for them in a way that we might not even have a label for it. And you have grandchildren in the mix, and you might be raising them, or you might be caring for them in such a significant way that it is a daily responsibility, right? Not a hobby, but a daily responsibility. And here's the thing that I find most remarkable, really, about the club sandwich caregivers is that you've been doing this for so long. You have found a way to juggle all of these responsibilities that you don't even realize how many layers you're dealing with. You have adjusted, you have adapted, and you're just doing it. And because you're just doing it, picking up all the pieces for everybody else, making sure that things are working, those around you see that things are working, and they don't even think to ask how you are doing among all of these responsibilities. They just think you have it all together. And inside, you don't feel like you have it all together at all. You feel like you are just hanging on by a thread. And all of those adaptations, those adjustments that you have made just to make things work, they all come at a cost. Quietly, slowly, all of that tension, it adds up. So I want to tell you about one of the caregivers that I had work with in my Caregivers Thriving membership. She was in her mid-50s, and she was caring for her mother, and she'd been caring for her for years, taking care of doctor's appointments and medications and all of the shopping and doing all of that till finally it was time that she needed some more care. So she actually brought her into her home. So it was one less trip that she had to make, but now this became a 24-hour a day caring for her aging mother. But she was also had some adult children, and she worked with them and was helping them as well. And her one daughter had gone through some difficulties. And so she was actually helping to raise 2 grandchildren. And when I would meet with her in support sessions that we had every month, I would ask her, how is she doing? And she would, immediately, like off the cuff, say, oh, I'm fine. And we're doing fine. We would talk about some things with her mother and her care and how she was coping. There was one day, though, as we were going about our regular conversation in a support session, that she just started to break down. And, it wasn't some dramatic thing. I mean, she just started to cry. And she said that she just didn't remember what her life was supposed to look like, what her plans for her life were supposed to be. She was consumed by caring for her mother and dealing with her adult children, and now having her grandchildren in the home as well. It all caught up with her, and it all catches up with all of us. That's what a long season of caregiving looks like. It sort of hollows us out. We use up all of our resources for everyone around us that we don't have any left for ourselves. So I want you to know that you are not alone in this, that you have found me and my channel, and I'm here to provide you support. I also want you to know that what you are doing is extraordinary, truly extraordinary, balancing all of these things. But this extraordinary care that you are giving and these responsibilities that you have taken on requires extraordinary support for you. And that is what I'm here to help you with. Most club sandwich caregivers don't see that. They overlook it because they're too busy looking at how they need to support everybody else. But I'm here to help support you. So the club sandwich caregiver isn't just a burden because of all of the logistics of all of these layers, but it is an emotional burden. It's a financial burden, and it accumulates over years. And for some of you, I know that has been decades, right? You've been doing this so long, longer than many of the other types of caregivers that I have been talking about in this series. You show up, you take on the responsibility. You're the one that your family members come to. They look to you. In some ways, they might even idolize you, and in times of conflict, it might not feel that way, but they know that you're the one who has all of the answers. And so that long stretch of always showing up, always being there, always being the one on the other end of the phone, always being the one there in the middle of the night. You put yourself on the back burner, your health, physically, mentally, right? You put it all on the back burner, maybe even financially, especially if you're helping out children and grandchildren. Your friendships you put on the back burner. Any kind of activities or organizations you wanted to be a part of, suddenly they just kind of wither away, because again, you're just conserving all of your energy for all of these responsibilities that you have. All of those things that you used to love, the things that you love to do, they've kind of just faded into the background because something more urgent always seems to come up. We lose our energy, we lose our stamina, we lose ourselves as a worker, we lose ourselves as a partner, right? And all of these things that sort of fall by the wayside are all losses. And some of the emotions that gets wrapped up in caring in all of these layers, part of it is grief. And many of our club sandwich caregivers don't see it as grief. We don't recognize our own loss. We're too busy trying to help everybody else. But I want to tell you that some of that you are feeling is actually grief. Grief for your own independent life. And recognizing it and actually saying what it is helps you understand yourself and your own emotions when suddenly you're flying off the handle and you wish that you hadn't. So can I ask you something? What do you want your life to look like? Not like a life in service to somebody else, but your actual life for yourself. What do you want it to look like? Not 5 years from now, 10 years from now, when you think that this caregiver role is going to be over, but actually right now. So here's what I believe with my whole heart. And I say this to every caregiver I work with. You can have the things that you want in your life while you're still caregiving, but you have to do it with intention and intentional support to help you get there. It's not easy at first, but trust me, it can be done. And it's not like having extra willpower or, pushing through and also adding on top of everything, the things that you want. It's actually really living the life that you want in parallel to the things that you're caring for, or to the people that you're caring for, I should certainly say. I want you to know that you do deserve compassion for yourself, right? Intentional support for you. And not just on the hard days, but on the regular days too. And once you receive that type of support, you're going to realize that finding your own life in this caregiver journey that you're on is not impossible. So we've spent 5 episodes together learning about the different types of sandwich generation caregivers. And before I close out this series, I want to say thank you. One, thank you for showing up to my video, but most, thank you for wanting to learn more about yourself and the type of caregiver that you are, because it is really super important for you to do that, for you to understand what type of caregiver you are so that you get the type of help that you deserve. This wasn't just about me coming up with clever names for the situations that I see many of my family caregivers in. Traditional sandwich, the submarine sandwich, the po' boy sandwich, the open face sandwich, the club sandwich. It's not just about the cutesy terms. It's about understanding that the generic help that is out there, oftentimes on YouTube or out there on websites or those Facebook groups, Generic help keeps you running around in circles and questioning yourself. It is important for you to recognize what type of caregiver you are because of the responsibilities that you have in your unique situation so that you can get the specified, individualized help that you need. And that's why I created my Caregivers Thriving membership. It gets us to work together for you. Sure, there's a community, and if you want to be involved in that community, that's great. That's important. It's really good to hear from fellow caregivers. But what I think is the true gem in my membership is that you and I work together specifically about your situation and what will work best for you, giving you the support you need so that you can face the next day as the best caregiver you can be. And part of that is taking care of yourself, because nobody is supported if you're burned out. That just leads to anger, frustration, resentment. We don't need that. We have plenty of people in our lives that throw guilt at us and make us feel frustrated. We don't need to be doing that for ourselves. So if you've been waiting for something to finally ease the overwhelm of this caregiver journey that you are in, I invite you to take a look at the link below and learn more about my Caregivers Thriving membership. Finally, something individualized for you that can give you quicker results than just doom scrolling at 11 o'clock at night because you can't sleep, because you are so overly tired and you are dealing with worry and concern for yourself and for all of the loved ones that you take care of. So make sure, now that you've seen 5 episodes, tell me in the comments, what type of sandwich generation caregiver are you? Let me know, okay? All right, my friends, thank you so much for showing up to every episode, and mostly for showing up for yourself. Remember that caregiving doesn't come with a manual. Nobody tells us about how our identity is going to change. Nobody tells us about the extreme exhaustion that even a good night's sleep can't help you with. Nobody is going to tell you about the grief that you're going to feel right alongside helping your loved one or any other family member that you are caring for, right? And nobody tells you that no matter how much you love your loved one, there are going to be days when you don't love them so much and you need a break from them. But what I want to leave you with here today is that you've identified the type of caregiver that you are. And by doing that, you've identified the types of needs that you have that can help you. Because once you do this, you can seek the right kind of help for you that can put you back on track for living your own life, not giving up all of the help that you're giving and the responsibilities that you have for your family members, but it helps set you on the path that you're not forgetting about yourself, and you can do both at the same time. Trust me, I know it. I've lived it. All right. Please share this series if you have a family caregiver or know of a family caregiver, maybe in another support group that you're in. If you're out there in the crazy wild world of Facebook and those support groups, share with them so that somebody else can identify exactly what type of caregiver that they are. Because remember, nobody should walk this journey alone.